For this video, I'm going to walk you guys through setting up the system of equations that can be used to solve three different geometric shape problems. And I'm just, for the sake of time, going to go over how to set up the two equations, and then from there you can solve the system using whichever method you prefer, either elimination or substitution or graphing. I will provide you with the solutions to each of the three problems, and if you have any questions regarding the solving process, please let me know. So let's get started. Here's the first problem. It reads, the side of an equilateral triangle is 4 inches shorter than the side of a square. The perimeter of the square is 42 inches more than the perimeter of the triangle, and we're being asked to find the length of a side of the square. So notice I've already decided that x was going to represent the side of the triangle and y was going to represent one side of the square, and I've just drawn a couple visuals for you to see here to get the idea. So let's go ahead and compose our two equations. We're being told first that the side of an equilateral triangle is 4 inches shorter than the side of a square. And so we can represent that statement with the equation x equals y minus 4. And that's your first equation, just that simple. So let's talk about our second equation. It's a little bit more involved. The second sentence in our problem reads, the perimeter of the square is 42 inches more than the perimeter of a triangle. Now, remember, to find the perimeter of a geometric shape like a triangle or a square, you simply add up all the sides. And so the perimeter of the square can be represented by adding y plus y plus y plus y, which equals 4y. And we are told that the perimeter of the square is, so equals, 42 inches more than, which is represented by 42 plus, and then the perimeter of the triangle. Since the triangle has a side of x, the perimeter would be x plus x plus x, which we can write as 3x. And there you have your second equation for this problem. So here are the two equations that you can use to solve this problem. Notice that elimination would work really nicely here because you can simply plug in this expression for x into the second equation and then solve from there. And just so you know, the solution for this guy is 30 inches. All right, let's check out a second problem. The second problem reads, the perimeter of a rectangle is 46 meters. If the width were doubled and the length were increased by 5 meters, the perimeter would be 66 meters. What is the length of the original rectangle? So let's draw a couple rectangles here. Let me just draw an initial rectangle. And we're not told anything about the length or the width. We're just told that the perimeter is 46 meters. So let's let the length be x and the width be y. And then based on the perimeter formula for a rectangle, the first equation that we have is 2x plus 2y equals 46. Now we're going to make some changes to this rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a second rectangle, not to scale, but just to represent this second rectangle. If the width were doubled, so the width being doubled can be represented by the expression 2y. So if the width were doubled, which is why we have the 2y there, and then as we read on, and the length were increased by 5 meters, so we're going to add 5 to the x, or the length value, the perimeter would be 66 meters. Now, in keeping with our perimeter formula, that would be 2 times the length, so 2 times x plus 5. And then we add to that 2 times the width, so 2 times 2y, and that perimeter would be 66 meters. And now we have the two equations needed to solve this problem. I would recommend solving this using elimination, but before you do that, I would recommend that you neaten up this second equation a bit by distributing the 2 and then combining the 2 times 2y to be 4y. That'll put your equation in standard form, and this system of equations solves very nicely using elimination. And just so you know, the solution to this problem is 18 meters. And let's go ahead and look at a third problem. Move it up here on the screen. Okay, this third problem reads, the perimeter of a triangle with 2 equal sides is 42 centimeters. If the base were lengthened by 7 centimeters and each leg were shortened by 5 centimeters, all 3 sides would be equal. Find the length of the base of the original triangle. So let's go ahead and start by drawing a triangle. And we're told that this triangle has 2 equal sides, and the third side measures a length that's different than those 2 sides. Other than that, though, we don't know anything about the sides of this triangle. So let's go ahead and let the 2 legs be called x and the base be called y. And we are told that the perimeter is 42 centimeters. So adding up all the sides, x plus y would be represented by 2x plus y, and the perimeter equals 42 centimeters. Now, if we make some changes to this triangle, and the changes that we're going to make will cause us to lengthen the base by 7. So instead of y, the base will be y plus 7. And then it says if each leg were shortened by 5 centimeters, so we're going to subtract 5. It says if these changes were made, then all 3 sides would be equal. Now, we already know that the 2 legs are equal, so what this implies is that the legs, represented by the expression x minus 5, would then be equal to the base. We can state that in equation form by simply saying y minus 5 is going to be equal then to y plus 7. And now we have the 2 equations that we can use to solve this problem. The 2 equations being 2x plus y equals 42 and x minus 5 equals y plus 7. This system of equations also solves very nicely by elimination. It will also solve very nicely using substitution. If you elect to use the elimination method, or addition method as we also call it, I would suggest putting that second equation in standard form by shuffling things around a bit. And just so you know, the solution to this equation is 6 centimeters.